I'm Karen, I'm the owner of the gallery, and I'm really thrilled that we're able to do this here. I'll hand you over to Marie because she's got some things to talk about to do with the programme. It's so exciting, it's so exciting.
The kind of video poetry that you're going to see tonight is rarely screened in Australia, and one of the main reasons that I've put together the program is to try to broaden awareness here of this form that I really love. Tonight's the world premiere. It's going to be touring various kinds of venues internationally and right into 2020. Handing you over now to the richly poetic mind of Matt Hetherington.
Why I am not a poet.
I thought you were.
Why I am not a poet. They want to be first and last, but not the best or worst. Their magic consists of nothing but turning blood into words and mud into water. Their hearts are made of sand and smell like sardines. Their souls are like tar mixed with flowers. They know the worth of instants, but not of hours. They write better when they don't think, and whine better when they drink. They write for themselves, then someone or other. For them, the sky can be orange and the sun blue, and everything's not what it isn't. They laugh at the tragic and smile at the funny. Poets are the neediest and greediest, but not for love or money.
Poem from the point of view of a lady pirate captain. It's called Landlubbers for Lovers. You're out to sea again, says he. Says he. That's what he calls it. Eyes like loaded cannons with no fuse. His touch like close and clammy mist in sagging sails. I'm out to sea indeed. Indeed. My eyes are fixed to swell and foaming blue of sky. Through bricks and lace and bay windows, I dream of ocean views. There's something throws me off in these unswaying rooms. This gingerbread man ain't no hard tack. I get to thinking. Get to drinking in these doldrums. Any storm in a port. And my temper's short as the snapped mast of the wreck I'm captain of at the bottom of the sea. You miss your ship, says he. Says he. Ties my bandana around his macassar hair. My cutlass smile could split his chest as if doubloons would spill from veins. I miss my ship indeed. Indeed. Miss my first mate, his scurvy scowl and filthy shanties ringing through the decks. And my drowned crew who stood with me through crest and trough, beneath our grinning standard, black and tattered as our laughter, all those jolly nights at sea. But what's to become of me? Pirate captain in the brig of rooms and streets and arms, at the prow of each new day aboard this land, I get so seasick. What's to become of me? I shiver in my briny sweat and call out to my gingerbread man, rum, 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 as fast as you can.
Everything creaks in this world. My children rode on my shoulders before I was born. Their new finger whirls in the furrows of my brow, and I was born with this feeling.
I was born in 1950 in Fremont, Ohio, a town of about 16,000 people. My brother was 8 years old. My sister was 5 years old. We lived happily at 902 White Avenue.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
Meta nitkellem bl-Ingliż, wiċċi jaħrabli. Ma meta ħadqi jintila bi kliem li ġie ummi u missieri. Nura wiċċi u nura dinja li jiena ma nofx.
No need to speak or hold hands. Peaceful silence dissolving into one smile, like water. The weightless feeling still fluttering in the cage of my ribs. Why do we waken with such longing sometimes?
Words are symbols for expression. They are stand-ins for thoughts and feelings. Thoughts and feelings are elusive things to know, even when they are our own. Sometimes the best way to describe a thing honestly is to use metaphor.
Behold our bodies, and our bodies are to be our bodies. Behold, constantly changing our bodies, and our bodies are to be our bodies. Behold thy hand.
Bajo el aire ralo de noviembre, bajo la hierba sin color, bajo el cielo cascado y gris. Acepto el duelo y la fiesta.
I just want to say thank you so much. It was outstanding. I was listening to the words, watching the imagery, which was not always literal. I wanted to catch the tiger by the tail at every moment. I was totally focused. And I was blown away. I thought it was the best thing. And I was really wondering, when you were doing yours, you know, here's the words. The imagery could be literal, but it isn't. Very often isn't. And then how do you intuit that?
The idea really, I guess, when you're making poetry films, is to work with poetry, yes, but also to be poetic in the way that you make the film.
Your process as a vision.
Yeah, you know, I mean, there might be literalisms in it, and sometimes, I'm all for anything that works, basically. I don't have any hard and fast rules about theory. There are theoreticians of this form, you know, who do sort of propose various manifestos about how it should be done, but I'm all for freedom, basically, and I think it is that kind of artist intuition, really, that goes into any kind of artwork, whether it's writing poetry, making a film, painting, singing, you know, anything. It's like, really, you kind of develop that inner sense and skill and experience of doing it, and that's how it comes to work, I think.
And even putting them together, you know, such great contrast,
Yes,
you know,
it's a great program,
to make a program that was so very different to each other.
Well, that's
and even the poets very different to each other, and both fantastic. Thank you.
I've got a question of the poets, actually, about what it's like having your poem made into a video poem.
Oh, you guys all heard the poem without the video, and I imagine some of you might have been a bit puzzled. What anvil? Something about standing, you know, what's this? Then on a tram. But the video actually brought the poem to life. It illustrated it with images like, not everyone might know what an anvil is, and there's a picture, oh yeah, an anvil. And then the whole idea of an anvil falling on someone, like for an old cartoon sort of thing. To show it visually just made it so much less puzzling. That was my experience.
It's beautiful, but it's strange too. And when it's happened for me, Marie's done a couple and there's been a couple other ones, it seems like they take the poem and then they do something that you haven't had in mind at all, and you see that it's kind of a starting point for them to go somewhere else.
So the strange bit is that happens, that they go somewhere else.
Yeah, it's strange because you have an idea of what it is, but it's like having a kid. You know, you have a kid and
it grows up and it becomes something different. You think it's going to be, and you go, well, I'm only partly involved here. So I think it's a bit like that when someone makes a film with you, you go, oh, they took it somewhere and hopefully you like it. And I have so far. I mean, if they're a good filmmaker, they kind of get some sort of essence of it, I think. Yeah.
It's like Tim Winton said when he sent his books to the screen. It's like sending your children to hospital and hoping they come back with all their arms and legs on you.
How old's the history of this particular?
Oh yeah, that's an interesting question actually. This way of putting together experimental film and text really goes back in filmmaking terms into the early part of the 20th century with avant-gardists like Man Ray. There is really quite a tradition of it, in filmmaking terms, but also, I suppose, in terms of poetry itself, it started out in ancient time as a oral form and has adapted to new technologies over all the centuries since, like the printing press. You could sort of see video poetry as it is now as a modern incarnation of poetry itself.
Maybe that's a good point for us to kind of draw to a close.
And thank you, Karen,
everybody.
for putting it in your gallery.
Yes.
Yes.